I kind of wish we were doing this after I reviewed that Wonder Woman, because that Wonder Woman was just shipped yesterday. It only just came out in Hong Kong. It was out in China before the Hong Kong release. So it just dropped in Hong Kong. I think that'll be the first real test, because that's using the wool hair implantation, as they call it. So I want to wait and see what that Wonder Woman is like, and then I can probably more confidently say, like, yeah, no, they can do it. Limited, I think, is key, because I don't think this can be done by machine. Most of the paint processes that Hot Toys use for head sculpts isn't actually paint. It's printing. So they print that stippled skin texture on the surface of the skin. The eyes, if they're moving eyes, it's actually easier for them because they can print the decals on the eyes, then put them in the head sculpt after versus having to paint them around inside the sculpt. So hair can't be done by machine. It has to be done by hand. And it has to be very precise. I don't know if this is using some kind of wig where it's all like one piece and then it's just applied over the top so that they can mass produce, because I can't imagine it's very easy mass producing and making sure that every single one is the same as the one that came before it. They've never done rooted hair well or properly. They've only ever done what's called doll style hair, which is the head sculpt has a bunch of holes in it and it's clumps of hair that sticks. It's basically how they do Barbie, but the hair quality was not as good as Barbie. It's very synthetic, very thick. The strands are not quite as thin as they should be if it's 1/6 scale hair. So if we're basing it on that previous track record, like the Black Widows, etc., there was a reason that they moved away from rooted hair. It's because they couldn't do it well. Now we're seeing this. I just have the question that if they feel confident that they can do this at scale, why did they not do it 3 years ago? Then they wouldn't even be in art. If they could do it the whole time, they should have been doing it. It kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit, because it's like, hang on, you could do this all along, but only just now they're like, yeah, all right, you got us. We may as well just do it. Like,
right.
You wouldn't even have you wouldn't even have in art. You wouldn't even have anyone else trying to do rooted hair, because Hot Toys like, oh, we innovated, but they don't. Yeah, it's like they didn't feel like doing that. So when I get that Wonder Woman, I will let you know if I think that they can do the shorter style rooted hair like Joker and Anakin well. But what I saw in person at Hong Kong was definitely better than what I saw on the Sideshow Con video. That was like boofy, huge, full. Could have been humidity or travel on the plane. He fuzzed up a little bit, but they thinned it out a lot for the Hong Kong convention.
I think Hot Toys was clearly pushed with the in-art line. They were like, okay, we're seeing what they're doing here. They got people's attention. Clearly, it's one figure. I get that. But the community was, dude, you knew, Justin. You reviewed the prototypes. You were following it very closely, I'm sure. When in-art dropped that first figure, and of course now the others like Aragorn, dude, the community goes wild. It's like people are like, this is new. This is exciting. This is cool. And now we have Hot Toys kind of stepping in, and the same thing has happened because everyone's raising the bar collectively. And that's, I think, what's really cool about this. But back to the question, do we trust them to do this rooted hair well? Because Justin, I maintain you've reviewed way more figures than me. You've owned way more figures. But I got to ask the question, have they ever done rooted hair well?
Never.
Like, yeah, never.
Not in my opinion, because some people might like, some of the previous ones, but I don't think so.
Right. Someone said, is your mic rooted? Apparently. So it was the old Hot Toys rooting. But no, so that's my thing, Justin. So look, if we're of the opinion, I think I'm with you. I've not owned every Hot Toy, but the ones I have owned that have been rooted and the ones I've seen that have been rooted, I don't think Hot Toys has ever really done rooted hair well. So we're putting a lot of faith in them to do this rooted hair well when they've proven in the past that they have never done it well before. So that's kind of the point I want to bring up, that I've been as critical as in-art in terms of release schedule and putting up new things or whatever as anyone. But I also think I'm wondering if it might be a little hypocritical for us to criticize in-art and say, well, they've only released one figure, blah, blah, blah. But then also say, well, Hot Toys is going to nail this rooted hair thing when they've never done it before. They've never nailed rooted hair before. Like, and you know what I mean? Am I onto something?
I know exactly what you mean. And I think that's more than fair. But I never understood that whole like in-art thing, like, ooh, can they do it? They had already been doing it as Queen Studios for years, doing rooted hair statues and even short hair rooted hair statues with the wool hair.
That's
So
true.
they had been doing it for like 5 years at that point. So it wasn't like suddenly like, they come out of nowhere. Like they've been around for a while.
It's not like they were Star Ace and they were like, we got this new rooted
Oh,
strategy. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like it wasn't that.
Yeah. Look, I think Hot Toys, they probably are not using the same factories as they couldn't, because I don't think you need some highly skilled workers to be able to do this kind of wool hair implantation, whatever. So I think probably this limited run thing. By the way, this video was playing on repeat at the convention. They had screens all around the Hot Toys booth.
Really?
Howard Chan was there and he was also on the screen. I just don't like the part in the video where he's like, other companies have made a 1/6 scale Joker and the proportions are not right. Like, do you really have to talk down competition? I've never liked that in Western marketing. It's kind of a no-no, but I know in Asian culture and Asian marketing, it's like you want to assert that you're the best, and sometimes that means talking down the competition. But for me, I've always been told, like, just if you just be better, don't say that you're
Gotcha.
better.
Be better,
You know
don't
what
say
I mean?
better.
It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it was just playing on repeat right there in front of me.
On repeat, they were like, proportions are wrong. The proportions.
It didn't stop that video. Like, it's not like they had any other videos going on. It's just that video. Yeah, this Wonder Woman, I think, will be the tell. I wish she was here. Then I'll be like, here it is.
When does she get there for you, Justin? Is she coming soon?
Should be maybe even tomorrow, I would say. And
is
then
it DHL though? Because if it's DHL, it's probably never going to show. So
probably never.
Yeah,
I've got 2 DHL coming actually, and you'll see him because this is the front door. So you'll see him, and then will believe that they can sometimes.
It's like the tooth fairy, dude. The tooth fairy showing up at your door. It's like
my DHL guy hates me because he's here pretty much every day, and I'm like, hi, and he grabs the, I have a nice day, and he just doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he's like, all right, to get on my face, bye. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't like that company either, working for them. So it's, dude, it's. I understand his.
He's like, look, sometimes I have to show, sometimes I don't. I never know.
Right. It's true, dude. 100%. It's like they're flaky, man. But I don't know, dude. With this rooted hair, I think the last thing I want to address on this one, Justin, I think, is the idea that these are exclusive, almost out of necessity. I'm wondering if that's the case. Do you think that that's the case?
I don't think they can make 10, 20,000 of these in a short amount of time. I think that it would take them 2-3 years to fulfill a pre-order if they were making as many as they were the sculpted version, perhaps. So I think they need to keep this limited. They just upped it though, because Howard was like, hey, more people want it than... There was a brawl in Hong Kong. I'm not sure if you saw that.
A brawl?
At ACGHK. Yes, no, seriously. The police had to come and get involved because I'm not sure if it was the Kamen Rider figures, because they only had 100 of them at the convention, or if it was the rooted hair Anakin and Joker, but they sold out like that. And there was a fist fight. Because people were like, what the hell? Because they had been lining up for hours at that point.
Right.
Like 5 hours. And then they were like, yeah, nah, bro, you're not getting any. So you can find it on Facebook. There was literally a brawl at the outside the Hot Toys booth. The police had to get involved because people couldn't get their shit. So, yeah, I think they do have to be limited. And I think that's going to upset some people because a lot of people have been waiting. There's like this type of collector who's like, I only collect Hot Toys. And that's fine if that's your vibe, but they're maybe going to miss out. And that's not ideal because a lot of people do want this. And if they could make more, I think they would, but they're experimenting. And I don't know if they are confident that they could make 10, 20,000 of these. So they limited it. And who's to say that they don't up it again? Like Howard just upped it. He could up it again if he feels like it.
So I don't even think I saw that, Justin. How many did the Joker go up? Do you know?
100, I think. So not that many.
Oh, that's not much then. Yeah,
not that many.
It's only like 4K worldwide. So maybe it's now 4,100, something like that. Yeah,
could be. I think it was 700 in Hong Kong, and now it's 800, or if it was 6, now it's 7, but it's 100 more. So,
yeah, Justin, you saw the Sideshow pre-order for this is coming next Thursday at 9 a.m. California Pacific.
That site is going to crash.
Dude, it's going to be a war zone. Like, I can just imagine.
These drops.
What'd you say the drops?
Yeah, how they do these drops.
Right.
It encourages people who don't even really want it to try it. Like the Advanced Suit 2.0. So many people were saying, "Oh, I don't want it, but I'm going to try anyway. And if I get it, then I get it." It's like, but you don't. You just said you don't want it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So I think this will be the same thing.
It does, and we'll talk about this a little bit with the exclusivity thing, but it does kind of incentivize in a way some FOMO, and also people like
Yes.
kind of, at that point, people say they don't view it as an investment. You do at that point because you're like, I'm
At
not
that point, you do.
buying this. Like it's
Mm.
I'm probably going to make money, right? If you wanted to flip it, you could sell it. You know, for me, this Joker, like honestly, I have a lot of friends who want it. So for me, I'm not going to try to buy it for me, but I am going to try to buy it. So if I have a friend, I have multiple friends who want it and they don't end up getting it, I'll just sell it to them for cost. Like I'll just be like, okay, cool.
There you go.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And I think there will be a lot of people out there who are willing to do that. Or maybe there's a channel member or someone out here that really, really wants it or something, and I have one and I'll sell it to them for what I paid. So yeah, other than that, but I don't know, man. I don't know, Justin. I think this looks really, really good. However, I will say, I can pull it up, but that sculpted version looks fantastic.
Oh, it does.
That Hot Toys sculpted version. Like, honestly, when I saw that, I was like, damn. Dude, I think, Justin, maybe we'll talk about this a little bit, but I kind of think that the Hot Toys sculpted head sculpt might be better than in art. But I think in art
Maybe.
better.
Yeah, maybe. But there are two. I really like the smirking in art one. That subtle little, little smirk. But we have to wait and see, because don't forget some of the sculpts that have looked really good and then have come out not so great.
Yeah.
But then also vice versa, some prototypes looked not so great and then they came out fantastic. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll reserve judgment on the sculpt for the softening process, because all of that skin texture, I've never seen a Hot Toys figure. I've never received a Hot Toys figure with that level of skin texture ever. It's usually quite soft, and then all of the skin texture is just paint. They fake it with paint, and it works well. But nothing can compare to having that real, like, the pores and the little mottled, dimples in the skin. Usually they are quite soft. They're getting more and more adventurous with how deep they're sculpting that texture. So I'm thinking that with figures coming out maybe next year, we are going to see more HDness in those sculpts.
HDness. Yeah, dude.
HDness.
That's
okay.
But I think so. And that'll lead us into one of our next topics once I hit some of these super chats. But I think in art is having an effect, clearly. I think it's, yeah, I think there's something going on here that we can look into in terms of trends. But Justin, we'll jump to our next topic. But before we do that, I have a couple super chats I want to address.